Okay, doke.
Yeah. But yeah, I had like a crazy realization last night
Yeah.
where I, as I posted in chat in my server, um, that for some strange reason I didn't know that there was a term for the genre of stuff like Neon Genesis Evangelion and Serial Experiments Lane and all that kind of stuff. And I only
How did
found out.
you what? Okay, continue.
I found out. So I found out because one person that I started watching recently, that I think Ralph also watches, if I remember correctly. Um, like, uh, basically she does like in-depth looks at like different visual novels and stuff. And she ended up mentioning like Dempa, and I was like, what the heck is Dempa? And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh shoot. Didn't know that there was a term for this.
There's a term for everything.
Yeah, true. But it was kind of interesting to hear like the origins of it and stuff. Like also kind of sad and a bit disturbing as well, but like I don't know, it kind of learning about it kind of changed a bit of how I see a lot of Japanese media to know like kind of where a lot of those tropes came from, I guess. Was kind of interesting. Definitely recommend checking out that article.
Nerd.
Yeah. I am a big nerd. Oh my gosh. So in Discord, for some reason, I have this thing constantly that's like earn a reward in World of Warcraft, and I don't know why it's there.
I don't know.
It's annoying the heck out of me. Should I send out a tweet or no? I'm gonna do
That
it.
is up to you. Also, did you look at the Velvet Room recently?
Yeah, I did. I meant to reply, but I've been like running around. we go. I've done it.
I see everything in your eyes. Well, it's falling apart.
Heck
Never
yeah.
listen. What's in my heart? It's lost in your eyes. Ready to fly. Never the same. Right by your side. Free fall.
Heck yeah. Top
When are we
tier.
getting more Kim Porsche?
Yeah, we gotta watch more Kim Porsche at some point.
Yeah.
One of the millions of shows. So that you know that Vampire Night React channel.
Yeah.
They also did. They recently. So they're the reason why I discovered Kim Porsche because they recommended it in some of their other like React videos, and I was like, oh shoot, I'll watch it. And they just released them reacting to like the first episode.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna watch that.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm like, yeah.
Never think what's in my heart. Nothing in your eyes, right or fly.
I was literally just telling Azure that I really missed it.
Same.
Yeah. And he was like, when are we rewatching it again? And I'm like, maybe once we finish our millions of other shows. Though, to continue for you, we could probably go back into it for that. And then you can see how crazy things get as the story progresses.
Yeah, because usually, yeah, because usually watch it so late that I just fall asleep.
Yeah, yeah. But hopefully, since I'm gonna have like all of September without work, hopefully that'll mean I'll have some time to do some stuff a bit earlier. We'll see.
Why? Oh, is it because you would be between jobs
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, because my next job doesn't start until October.
And
So I'll have like September. Part of it is so that I can like acclimate to the new place, like get like my new doctor, do all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
I also have to go and get my fingerprints done, which is gonna be interesting. I literally was like, when I mentioned that I might get like a government job to one of my coworkers, before I, like, they called to let me know that I got the job. Um, she was like, yeah, I used to work for the government and I had to get my fingerprints done. And they struggled with it because she had to prick her fingers a lot to draw blood. And because of that
Yeah.
wrecked like the fingerprint. So it made like scanning basically impossible. And like they would keep trying and trying, and she's like, it's never gonna work because of the stuff I have to do.
Yeah, because that's basically like if you've bleached your fingertips off kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. The struggle is real.
So it's going to be interesting for you as well because of your shaking and everything.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they'll have like a system in place now that'll make it easier, but we'll see. We'll see how things go.
uh, does holding your own hand do anything, or does it still shake?
Um, it still kind of shakes, but it's like much less.
Then that could be a thing to like get around it, maybe.
Yeah.
Meow.
Meow. I would say one of the biggest things that I'm worried about at the moment is Data. Because he's probably not going to take all of this well. He's already
Oh,
antsy with all the
stressed out.
changes.
Aww.
Yeah. But hopefully things will work out. Hopefully he'll make it through.
Just once you get there, just leave him alone for like at least until he needs to eat, because it'll give him time to acclimate to it, because he'll need to do that by himself. He'll
Yeah.
stress out even more if you try to touch him or anything while that's happening. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the
ju-
problem
just
is,
just like why I relate so much to cats is they are very neurodivergent.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be especially hard for him because we're gonna have to move to several places first before fully going
Yeah.
into the place. Because first, um, it's gonna take us 2 days to get to Kansas. So
Right.
one night we're gonna have to stay at a hotel, and that hotel lets cats, which is why we're bringing him in
Yeah.
with us. But of course, so there's that, and then once we get to Kansas, because like it's gonna take them time to like arrive as well and like move all the stuff in there. We're gonna be staying with my brother for like a night or so. So then he's gonna have to be at my brother's place, and then finally we're gonna enter the new house.
Yeah, I was just thinking if you could have sent him forward to somebody that was already nearby, but you already are, so
Yeah, yeah.
except
Yeah.
it's better because it will be with you guys as well.
Yeah. So hopefully things will work out, but definitely, I think he can already tell that there's some
Pain in the
fishy
butt.
stuff. Yeah. But anyways, are you ready for some Shibuyas and their scrambles?
Yeah.
Let's hope my controller is properly connected. It seems so. Hi Mew, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Oh, I should make the
Hello.
shout out. I love you, Mew. Welcome. But yeah, so last time we literally just started a new hour.
Yep.
Making progress. You love to see it.
So, what can you tell me of what happened the last time, Anya?
So last time, Achi and, Hitomi went to the mall place, like the giant mall place, and Maria went as well, which caused like a bunch of hijinks because Achi couldn't tell that Maria wasn't Hitomi, and so they ended up running around because of that.
But why is the reason why he couldn't?
Well, because they were changing outfits and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But even so, like, I don't know. I feel like he should have been able to tell. But whatever.
Yeah. He's pretty dumb.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Osawa finally discovers that, what's his name? Tanaka. Yeah, is not a friend and is actually his enemy and did a bunch of the stuff that led to Hitomi, because he discovers that the reason the kidnappers want Hitomi in particular is because Hitomi has special blood now, like, because she got the virus and he gave her the antiviral that was locked away. And so now she effectively has the antiviral in her system, and so they want her for that blood.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Minorikawa is still doing his crazy stuff, trying to run around, doing all that, but then he ended up trying to talk to Osawa, and at first it doesn't work, but then Osawa comes up with the idea of having Minorikawa be kind of like his eyes outside the house, since Osawa can't personally leave the house, but he could have Minorikawa do some of the research for him. And then finally, Kano is learning some of the stuff that's going on with Stanley, and they were about to catch one of the kidnapper people, Al-Karawan, but then Sasayama, his buddy, got stabbed in the process.
Yep.
And that's what happened last time on 428 Shibuya Scramble. Yeah, anyways. Kano practically dived from the car when it arrived on the scene in Maruyamacho. The place was teeming with officers and onlookers alike. Out of the way, please, move aside. Kano forced his way through the throng. Sasayama was lying in a massive pool of blood. Nobody else thought to, like, do anything? He's just sitting there? Sasayama!
Nope.
Kind of rushed to his partner's side. Y'all, do something! The knife was still embedded deep in Sasayama's belly. Its handle shuddered each time he drew a labored breath.
Yes. I messed up.
Sasayama could only manage a raspy murmur. Please don't try to talk.
Looks like I won't celebrate the Miss birthday.
Sasayama drew a small package from his pocket.
Here's my penis.
For your dick diary. It had been neatly wrapped and fitted with a pretty little ribbon.
Only best for the missus.
Here's a
Yeah.
dildo made him exactly like my penis.
Is this to be transforming?
Kano shook his head. No way! You could give it to her yourself.
You've never met me, Todd, huh? You're very pretty. Probably surprised how pretty she
I know, you've told me all about her.
is. Please, give this to my wife for me.
Wow, I can't believe he's just dead. Sasayama? Sasayama's hand dropped back down into the puddle of blood. Wow, they just arrived! The police got there faster than a paramedic did. Wow. A paramedic team finally arrived at the scene. That took way too long. As Sasayama was loaded into the ambulance, Kano felt a surge of rage rolling inside him. Clenching his fist so hard his nails dug into his palm, he marched over to the captive Al-Karawan. You son of a bitch. He wound up for a punch to Al-Karawan's face, only to have his arm caught forcefully by the elbow. Spinning his head around, he found Stanley standing there. Let go of me, Stanley! But the American had a grip of steel, and Kano's arm wouldn't budge. They allow you to assault suspects here in Japan, do they? Kano bit his lip and then lowered his shaking fist. No, of course not. Al-Karawan let out a nasal chuckle as he watched the pair. With a cold glare, Stanley strolled over to him.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear.
He leaned in close to whisper something, and all at once the blood drained from Al-Karawan's face. Visibly shaken, Al-Karawan said something back to Stanley. Stanley gave a slight nod.
Anya, a knife isn't the only thing a man can stab you with.
Heck yeah. That's canon. That's what he actually said. Stanley gave a slight nod, then left the captive with the police escort. Kano went over to him. Hey, what was that all about? Apparently, Al-Karawan gave Hitomi some instructions, told her to get into a blue minivan that was parked along Dogenzaka. So Stanley's hunch had been correct, but why had Al-Karawan confessed so quickly? Hold on, let me get a drink of my coffee. There we go. Now I'm all ready. How'd you get him to talk? You don't need to know that. Turning on his heel, Stanley went to report the news about the blue van to the task force. I don't know why, but anytime like a story is like a person turned on their heel, I just imagine like literally like somebody
Riding away.
Yeah. Well, like also just like turning on their heel like very literally, like they get on like their heel and then just go and then walk away. Kusei immediately directed the detectives near Stoken Saga to look into it, but they found no blue minivan in the area. The order then came down for all personnel to search for the vehicle. Kano thought back to another item in the Dick diary. Dick dictum number 14. Use the dead as a stepping stone, but be sure to die a stepping stone yourself. In the abstract,
What
Kano...
does that even mean?
Yeah, what the heck does that mean?
Self-sacrifice, whatever, I guess.
In the abstract, Kato could appreciate the nobility of self-sacrifice, but when he thought of Sasayama's blood-stained figure, it wasn't so easy to keep his emotions in check. I don't know who's talking. First time you've ever seen a fellow officer get hurt? Oh, it's Stanley. First time you've seen a fellow officer get hurt. I don't know. The idea that he has like a different voice, but he deliberately like gives it like a lower tone is very funny to me. Stanley had come back over to him.
This is my big stabbing tone.
Yeah. This is my I'm in work mode tone.
And this is my talking to my wife tone. I'm so happy with her. She's so nice. I miss her every day.
I love my wife.
We talk over the phone after work every day.
We don't have time to relax. If you can't keep your anger in, then do something about it here and now. Dang! Stanley pointed to his own jaw. This dynamic is so...
Where the diction goes.
Shove it right in here.
Unhinge his jaw, see how many dictums I can fit in here.
Amazing. Hit me. American style. Kano smiled wryly at the unexpected proposal. The dynamic between these two is so funny to me.
Yeah. It's very much a Japanese buddy cop thing.
Yeah. I could just kill him. I'm kind of feeling the middle option.
We asked for it, so.
Yeah.
And you can reload.
It is true. I'm just thinking more this option. This feels like something Kano would say. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. If I weren't such a bumbling clot, Sasayama would never have... Hey, don't blame yourself. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly and he held his hands wide. Kusei's voice suddenly cut in over the wireless. We've located the blue minivan! It's in Jinyan 1 Crow, Cohen Dory!
Ah! Ow! Oh.
I knew it was gonna jump scare you once I brought back the Kusei voice.
I was expecting it, but not. Well,
I'm sorry. Hitomi might be there. And maybe the kidnapper's ringleader would turn up too. On pure reflex, Kato broke into a run. Stanley followed close behind. Look at him go.
full on Naruto run.
Yep. I love that Kano is fully in the air in this picture. There's something so funny about him just being like literally in the air. They sped through the back streets, making their way toward Koendori. Kano was a pretty fast runner, but Stanley kept up with him without apparent difficulty. Were you in the army or something? No, the Marines.
United States Marine Corps. Maroon 5 Corps. Marine Corps. A rapid deployment force specializing in amphibious landing operations. An independent branch of the armed forces, along with the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The Marines' motto is Semper Fidelis. That is for always faithful.
Yeah, it's just so the loud music, like trying to speak over it, like hello.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. Also, the Marines is part of the army, technically. So, but I guess like,
but if you talk to people in the actual Marines and the army and whatever else, they're like, no, they're not like us.
Yeah, true.
They make fun of each other constantly, like policemen and firemen, etc.
Yeah, because everybody wants to believe that they're the ones that are
The
the
more
actual,
important ones.
It wasn't much further to Koendori. Kano, if we find that van, don't get too close. It could be a trap. These people will do any. Oh, but they didn't put the thing there. It could be a trap. These people will do anything to carry out their goals. Anything.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, poor Kano. Kano could sense the truth of Stanley's words. Look at them go! He reminded himself that his life could depend on remembering them. He raised his eyes. They were coming up on Koendori. Oh, my controller vibrated. Suddenly a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong. That's no ordinary city noise. A column of black smoke rose up from between two nearby buildings. Oh, wait! So I've seen the trailer for this game. And I remember seeing that at some point a big explosion happens, and I think Hitomi gets caught in it. Either Hitomi or Maria. I don't really remember which one it was. Column of black smoke rose up.
That was the whole point.
Yeah. Well, like, if I saw it again, I would be able to tell, because I now know their personalities and know what kind of clothes they would be wearing.
Yeah.
Passerby stopped and stared, gasping in alarm. Yo! Live action footage! Let's go!
Yay!
We get to actually see them in live action. There they are! Look at Stanley! He's like, oh god!
I really need to shit!
They Kato saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. This just makes me really want to play more FFP games.
I just really want to know how they directed the actor in that moment. They're like, okay, look concerned. Okay, look more concerned.
Yeah, because Stanley looked uncharacteristically concerned in that scene. He was just like, oh. Someone had set off an explosion. Shibuya precinct wasn't too far from here. Kano recalled the attempted bioterrorism attack on Kazumigaseki.
few years ago, the Tokyo Metropolitan Public Safety Commission obtained intel of an imminent bioterrorist attack within the city. Immediately afterwards, an unoccupied van exploded outside the Metropolitan Police Department, and the device for dispersing the bacterial contagion was discovered at the subway platform of Kazumigazeki Station. Having determined that the city bureaucracy was the target, the Japanese government contacted the terrorist organization responsible as secret, making a deal to put an end to the threat.
Also, can we point... I just want to point out, like, hearing the groans in the background is very
Right?
funny. Yeah, whoever is doing that... I love that. The incident had begun with a van exploding outside the Tokyo MPD station. Already a large crowd of onlookers was gathering. Also, I'm glad that for all those info things, they tell you up top whether something is, like, in the real world or just within the story. Because otherwise, some of these things I would be like, whoa, that happened? But then I look at that top left thing and go, oh, never mind, it didn't happen. Shouts rose up as they took in the scene. What's going on? What happened? The car's on fire! Kano called it to HQ that quickly slipped around to the back of the burning vehicle. It was a minivan. Peering at the flaming chassis? I don't know what that is.
Chassis. It's like the body of the car.
Oh, okay. He could see that there was something inside.
It's like you have the engine on the inside of the chassis, so there you go. It's like the casing.
I see. So what the heck? What the heck? Oh, nope. So my controller got disconnected. I don't know how that happened.
Oh.
Let's hope it saved somewhere nearby so I don't have to click through all of that, but we'll see. I don't know what the heck happened. It literally just disconnected, and then, of course, when I tried to reconnect it...
It closed.
Yeah, I don't know why it causes the whole game to crash.
I don't know.
Oh my god. What is going on?
Did it do it again?
Yeah. What is happening? Am I putting it in the wrong thing? No, this is the right thing. Why is it struggling so much? Wait. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it happened as with the explosion. Okay. Luckily, this game is pretty good at auto-saving. We get to see this again. Let's go. He's so concerned.
Look more concerned.
Wait. Just so that it says that I looked at it. Blah, 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 blah. Peering at the flaming... Yeah.
This?
Yeah. Is it Cassis or Chassis?
Cassis.
Cassis. Oh no, could that be Hitomi? Once they had their hands on the antiviral, the criminals would have no further use for Hitomi Osawa. Already, the body had been charred to ash. At this point, it was hardly recognizable as human anymore. Oh, keep out! Hey. Crazy. Okay. Next is Achi. Kanan led them into a narrow back alley. The moment she stopped, Hitomi spoke up.
Members of SOS don't come by here very much. Word has it that in this place, around 10 years ago, one man beat the crap out of 7 street toughs in the blink of an eye, all by himself. Over time, people have offered various theories that he was an assassin, that he was some foreign soldier, even that he might have been a ghost. But to this day, the urban legend lives on. What? Why was my sister kidnapped? Before I answer that, there's something I need to tell you.
Her tone was cold and sharp.
I've come to Japan because I'm on a mission. I'm not at liberty to discuss all the details. But alright. To answer your question, Maria was kidnapped by mistake.
Yep.
What? But why? Because this kidnapper isn't after Maria. They're after you. Who's after me?
I love Achi's stance in this scene. With his legs like spread out like that.
It would be only more intense if he was doing the keepers.
Yep.
The mastermind behind this thing.
Her tone was matter of fact. Whoa, hold on. What do they want Hitomi for?
That I cannot say.
Well, then who is this person?
I can't tell you that either. You see, the sex, nationality, age, appearance, just about everything about them is shrouded in mystery. So there's honestly not much I can tell you.
Achi and Hitomi stood dumbfounded. What gives? So you're saying all you know is that this person has some lame name like Mastermind? Hitomi turned to whisper in his ear.
Mastermind isn't exactly their name. Originally used solely to refer to someone of remarkable intellect, the term first took on its criminal connotations in the 19th century because of Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yep. Everything goes back to Sherlock Holmes. Ayo.
Yep. I'm here because I'm looking for revenge. Revenge? What for? This person also killed my friend.
Kanan's inscrutable eyes flashed with a threatening gleam.
Earlier you said that it was your fault that my sister got kidnapped.
Kanan cast her eyes down.
4 days ago, I managed to learn this criminal's plan. So I got in touch with Maria and told her that you were going to be at that party. So that's what she told me not to go.
Hitomi's voice trembled as she spoke.
Just a second.
No worries.
I'm finding it hard to switch back and forth. I gave Maria a small GPS tracker to give to you, but I guess you never got it. Global Positioning System, a network of man-made satellites and ground-based control stations providing geolocation data. Alternately, a device that makes use of said system. Consultants in vehicle navigation systems use the GPS.
Amazing. Hitomi shook her head.
You must still have it then. Wait, so then my sister...
The color drained from Hitomi's face as she understood.
Yes. Maria acted as a decoy and let herself get kidnapped and just dead.
Hitomi swayed on her feet, shocked to the verge of fainting. Achi Hurley reached out and caught her in his arms. But wait, I don't get that either. Why didn't either of them go? The Nobe would be kidnapped, right? I mean, why did her sister need to go and act as a decoy?
Oh. If she hadn't have gone to the party, and the kidnappers would have just found some other opportunity to come after her. Yeah.
Okay. That sort of makes sense.
Duh. I'm betting that Maria's plan was to use the GPS to lead me to these guys' hangout. She wanted to keep her sister safe and also figured she could help me with my mission. It's the sort of scheme she'd think of.
So then, can't you use the GPS to locate Hitomi's sister?
The GPS hasn't been powered on since she was kidnapped. It's possible the kidnappers took it from her.
Wait, what? So after all that, even you can't find Maria?
I didn't say that.
What do you mean?
I got some intel from the syndicate members we met earlier. Apparently, sometime this morning, they put Maria into the blue minivan, and since then, they've been moving her around Shibuya.
Except that's not the case at all. That's just what they've been saying. But in reality, she's never even been in there. Achi and Hitomi exchanged glances at the mention of the blue minivan.
Unfortunately, those operatives didn't know what the current situation was exactly. Which is why, if you check a blue minivan earlier on in the game, Hitomi gets kidnapped and leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're back to the blue van then. Achi
No,
hurriedly.
you're not Carlo.
Yeah. Achi hurriedly explained what they've been through so far. He mentioned how they'd first seen the blue van where the kidnappers had told Hitomi to find it. He also described how first the man with the cane and then a host of others had come after them. He got a little sidetracked here and there, but kinda unquietly listened to the end.
I see.
So then, what do you think? Seems like we messed up their scheme a little, huh?
I think Maria already did by the fact that she escaped.
Yeah. Yep.
Whatever the case, this man with the cane concerns me. I doubt he's working with the others. I don't know what that means.
Maybe that's it. Some guy who isn't involved butts in it and throws off their whole plan.
Which is maybe how Maria escaped.
Mm-hmm. Titano inadvertently saving the day, even when he didn't really entirely mean to.
Because you and that man with the cane showed up. They couldn't leave the minivan where it was. They took a sensible precaution.
But then, if you think about it, isn't this an opportunity for us to turn the tables on Mr. Mastermind? Kanan flashed him a faint, speculative smile.
I wonder about that.
Come on. You're such a buzzkill.
Any well-made plan has a good, solid outline. Which means that even after it has come to fruition, it's easy to trace things back to the planner.
Is that how it works? Wait, why did I give him like like a southern accent there?
I
Is that
don't
how
know.
it works?
By contrast, if you achieve your goals using accidental means, the outline becomes blurred and makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp what the actual plan is.
Achi swallowed hard as he took in the gravity of the situation.
Which why Batman gambits can be fucking insane.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, there's a Tomari fanfic, Tom Riddle Harry Potter fanfic that is like one of my favorite fics, not just in the fandom but of all time, and it was left on hiatus for like ages, and then literally the other day it all of a sudden dropped with like all the chapters leading up to like the final chapter all at once, just like updated all those chapters, and I was like, oh snap, let's go, after years of waiting, it's here. So I spent like the last night and the night before like reading through all of it, and towards the very end of the story there was like a really good instance of a Batman gambit that I was like, heck yeah, it can be a pretty good trope. Anyways, sorry about the incidental ramble. Well, but I mean, like, if there's an accident, people are gonna be for sure panic, plan or not. Oh wait, no, I didn't realize.
Typically, I suppose. But the people who have the Hitomi, not only have they put together a perfect plan, they purposely left certain holes in it. So we can't even figure out who they are. The outline of the plan is always too blurry. Luckily for Anya, I read the line before I was going to say it.
Heck yeah. Achi had no response to that. It was like he was hearing about some completely different world beyond the one he knew. If what Kanan had said was true, he'd been dealing with opponents that were on a level way above his own.
In any level, since these people are after you, it would be best if you didn't wander around town anymore.
By now, Hitomi had recovered. She stood up straight and shook her head.
No, I'm going to find that blue minivan. My sister's in danger because of me. I can't abandon her just to save myself. Why don't we ask Archie where he saw you
Yeah.
and go from there rather than go to the blue minivan?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Morons.
Yeah.
Like, if you knew that it wasn't you he was seeing, then we need to question that!
Nobody's thinking. Everyone's dumb. Yeah, that's right! Achi patted Hitomi on the back. And if that's what you're going to do, then I don't care who we're up against. I'm with you in this until the end. Heck, it's too late for me to back out now. That ship has already failed.
It's already sailed, Archie.
Yeah, whatever you say. Hanan let out another little sigh.
Alright, just make sure you're extra careful. You can't count on getting bailed out of trouble like you have before. I understand.
Her eyes showed no trace of doubt or fear. Kanan gave her a slight nod, then quickly disappeared down the alleyway. I feel like we could have made plans together. Like, why can't we work together and figure out a way that we can try and figure out what's going on, but also not just be running around with our, like, chickens with our heads cut off?
You're fucking dumb.
Yeah. But
because this would be a very good visual novel if all we did was the better things.
Yeah. Because, like, the fact that Kanan just is like, okay, now I'm leaving, like, why don't we work together? Become a trio here. What the heck?
Because then I'd have to keep talking to myself in different accents.
Right then, want to get back to looking for that minivan? Then you stop, remembering their previous efforts. If they just heedlessly...
You decided to talk to yourself in your normal voice and a deep accent. In a deep voice. I have put on different accents and fucking Daffy Duck voice.
Yup. You picked like all the worst voices to use. Because like the only bad voice I have is Kuze's, and he doesn't talk that often, so it's like okay.
Whereas I literally have to talk like fucking Manure Carla for
Yup. If they had just heedlessly wandered around town, they'd probably end up in the same trouble they'd encountered before. They'd get chased by the man with the cane or by the kidnappers, and their search would be interrupted yet again. What should they do then? There had to be a better way. Achi happened to glance upward and caught sight of a surveillance camera installed on one of the street lights. Oh, is this going back to the guy who was all like, I hate that there's all the surveillance stuff and so all that?
Yeah.
That's it.
God
I can't believe I didn't think of it before!
We can.
Toby peered at him, startled by his sudden shouting. We just need to use my old man's surveillance cameras and this'll be a breeze. Achi took Hitomi by the hand and started running. His destination, the security camera monitoring room in Dogensaka. Achi didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination, then he turned to look back at Hitomi. He was about to ask if she was doing alright when someone close at hand called out to him.
Speaking of...
Yeah, there he is!
Hi, mind if I ask you something? Have you ever heard of SOS?
Achi stopped in his tracks as a stranger stepped in front of him. The guy looked too old to be picking a fight with SOS. Achi regarded him with some suspicion. Yeah, what do you ask?
Do you happen to be a member yourself?
No, not anymore. The man's eyes flashed with a gleam of recognition. Did this guy know who he was? With a broad grin, the stranger took a step closer. Achi's heart sank. He couldn't afford to get caught up in some new hassle right now. Hitomi flashed him a worried look. I don't know who said let's go. Let's go! Achi and Hitomi dodged past the man and hurried onward. Even if the guy was harmless, they needed to be on their guard. There was no telling just how many thugs and assassins were looking for Hitomi. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building, Achi decided he better make sure the stranger wasn't up to something. Hitomi followed as he slipped quickly into a back alley. There was no indication that the man was following them.
What was that guy's deal?
No idea, but he sure seemed kind of fishy. It doesn't look like he's coming after us, though. They took a quick detour through another seedy back alley. Then, as they were starting to head towards their original destination, Achi felt a sudden searing pain in his back. We're at a bad end.
Yep, we should have stayed with the Minorakara.
Yep. Glancing over his shoulder, he discovered that one of the foreign syndicate members had crept up and struck him from behind. Oh no. I've been stabbed! Just the way that was written, it was so funny. Oh no! I've been stabbed! Another man had... I was waiting for the scream.
The mic wasn't picking me up. I think I was going too high.
Another man had suddenly appeared, grabbing her by the arms. Toby! Achi tried to reach out to her, but his arm was leaden. His body refused to obey his commands. I'm sorry, but this is just so funny. As the attacker wrenched a knife from his back, Achi felt the blood gushing out from his wound. The two men started to drag Hitomi away. Yeah. Damn it. Tried to pursue them, but his legs faltered and couldn't find their footing. He was losing blood so fast he was starting to fade from consciousness. Achi could only watch, impotently, as Hitomi was dragged further and further away. Bad end. Achi got stabbed, caught in a surprise attack by one of the kidnappers. He could only watch helplessly as Hitomi was taken away. If that weird guy hadn't tried to talk to him, Achi would have never taken the risk of wandering through the alleys. But how can you keep that guy from wanting to interview Achi? We'll have to play as Minorikawa and make a different choice. Okay. Now on to Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. And there's Tateno.
Wait, hold on.
Chotto matte.
Is my name Tomiyosawa? At my shout, the man with the cane hesitates, his finger on the trigger.
I don't remember who's Tateno.
You can miss the male voices, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
Uh, what do you mean? I only have so many voices.
Alright.
I don't want to give him a silly voice. I'll just give him my deep voice. What do you mean by that? The barrel of the gun is still aimed squarely at my head.
That was supposed to be me.
Oh yeah, sorry. I got so used to doing the narration.
I'm the narrator this time. I mean exactly what I said. Is my name Hitomi Yosawa? I don't know who I am.
You're trying to play games with me.
I'm not playing with anyone. I swear. I'm utterly desperate now. Getting killed's one thing, but he wants to die without even knowing who they are. Tell me, am I Hitomi Osawa or not? The man gives a good hard look.
Damn it, I wonder.
Continues to study me along with the barrel of the gun.
Tell me what you know.
Would not request. What I know about what? Look, I have amnesia. I quickly summarize what's happened to me since I woke up in that storehouse. The man listens intently, never taking his eyes off me.
Oh, I see. So that's what's going on then.
Once I've done with my story, the man with the cane sits down on an empty soda crate. Seems he believes me at any rate. That's a relief, if nothing else. So then, am I Hitomi Yusawa?
No.
Then who is Hitomi Yusawa? Is she someone who looks like me?
Shut your mouth. Just be quiet.
His expression is vacant.
I want to know what that t-shirt really says. All of it. Because I'm just seeing UT head. And I want to know what the rest of that shirt says. What am I going to do?
If I'm not Hitomi Osawa, does that mean you don't have any business with me?
Seems so.
In that case, can I go?
The assassin doesn't answer.
He lets his pistol hang limp in his hand, the muzzle dropping to point at the ground. It doesn't look like he wants to kill me anymore, but it doesn't look like he'll just let me go quietly either.
I don't know. I feel like Maria's the type who isn't just gonna stand by and do nothing. But at the same time,
It's a good way to get shot.
yeah. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure I get what Tatano's trying to do, so he's now no longer. I don't see him thinking about killing Maria. Because I know that the whole reason he wants to kill Hitomi so that all the stuff that's going on will stop.
Yeah.
Because if Hitomi's dead, then that solves all the issues and people won't die for what's going on.
Yep.
So he has no reason to try and kill Maria, and I'm guessing he's figured out that this is Maria. So there's no reason to try and attack him, because I don't think he's going to attack us. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm a buffoon.
You can always change it.
Yeah.
So I remain motionless, waiting for an opportunity to run away.
I might not make it in time.
The man murmurs to himself under his breath. Not making time for what? I'm curious now, but this is hardly the time or place to try to find out more. I've learned for certain that I'm not Hitomi Sawa, which basically tells me nothing. I'm right back to square one and figuring out who I am. The assassin has gone quiet. Sitting on a pile of crates, he seems lost in thought. Still, I don't dare to try to get away. All I can do is stand and wait and mull over my own situation. Just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I am, I am, I am.
No, I have no business with you. Go. Don't worry, I won't follow you.
I wonder if I can believe him. Maybe he's just trying to get me off my guard so he can shoot me in the back.
Why would he do that? It makes no sense.
Because we know that about him, but she doesn't know him.
But I'm saying, even if you don't know him, like, he could just shoot her right now, and she wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So why would he need her to turn around? Do not go to the police or go back home. Lay low by yourself somewhere for a while.
Do not take home $50. How long is a while?
Until around sundown. This should all be over by then.
It will be over? I have no idea what it is, but I decide not to pry in case he decides to change his mind. Okay, I'm going to run away now.
Sure. I take a... Oh,
Take a slow step. I take a slow step backward.
I don't know why I started talking. I am just an idiot.
I start to turn away when he speaks up again.
Before you go, I need to tell you one more thing.
He's gonna tell us our name, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What's that?
When you get your memories back, I'm sure you're going to hate me, and so I apologize in advance.
Of course, I have no idea what he's talking about, but it makes it even more uneasy.
Yeah, because he's planning to kill your sister.
Yep.
So he's pretty sure that he's going to end up killing her, and when she remembers everything, it's going to not be great. I truly am sorry.
I've got no response for that, so I just give the man one last look before I turn and run. I think she'd hate herself more because if he does kill her sister, then she's gonna be like, I had him right there. I could have done something about it, but I
Yeah.
couldn't because I didn't know. But it's no excuse kind of thing.
Yeah.
I decided to look for some place to hide out for a while, as the good man suggested. But since I don't really know my left from my right in this town, that's easy said than done. Before I realized it, I made my way back to the knick-knack store where I bought the necklace. Maybe I could hide out in here? As I contemplate that possibility, I hear an all too familiar voice. Oh, I wonder who it is. Yay!
Tama, 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 Tama.
There's Mr. Yannick Ishida on the floor of the shop. He's been tied up with some rope. What happened, boss?
Look, this is all just I was framed.
Nah, whatever's happened, I'm pretty sure it's all his fault. Let's call it a punch.
He says I'm a thief. Well, I say he's a thief for selling stuff he finds around town. Wait, oh my god. I can't believe this has only just hit me just now. I'm such an idiot.
What?
The necklace. He found, so the reason she's so drawn to the necklace is because probably during the kidnapping, Maria loses the GPS, and the GPS is the necklace.
Yeah.
And so he finds the necklace, puts it in his shop, she sees it, and even though she's lost her memory, she remembers that it's important. And so she grabs it, and so now she has the necklace, which is actually the GPS, but it's not turned on.
Yep. You are correct.
Yeah, I can't believe it took me that long to get to that conclusion. Anyways, hey! Just what are you implying? What in the world is going on here?
That would have been my line, Anya.
No, it's the sales clerk. I thought I was the sales clerk.
Yeah, just what are you implying? But the next line's me.
Oh, for some reason I read it as, like, part of his line.
No. What the what's going on here? I haven't the foggiest.
Dama, help me, please.
Yannick Ishida kicks and squirms like a hyperactive child.
Do you know this man?
The sales clerk asks. No, well, I mean, sorta?
He is a real pain. He's been making it seem like this for as long as he's been here.
I find it hard to imagine a worse way to interfere with someone's business.
I hate to ask, but could you take him to the police for me?
The police?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the police... The good man did specifically warn me not to go to them. I feel no loyalty to the killer, but I'm reluctant to antagonize him.
Hi, Rolf.
You could just tell the salad that you're going to take him to the police, but just let him go and leave somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then everyone's happy. Everything works out. Also, hi,
Yeah.
Rolf. Welcome to the stream.
Hi,
How's it
Rolf.
going? I love ya.
And for reasons I can't explain, I have a strong sense that going to the police right now is a bad move. But Mr. Yannick Ishida isn't privy to my thoughts. He looks up at me with a hopeful gleam in his eye.
Yeah, they'll work. Tama can take me to the police, and then we can put this all behind us. All's well that ends well, right?
Well, sure. Feeling like I have no choice, I leave the shop with him.
Okay.
Miss Yanagashita is excited as soon as we're out of earshot.
Now let's go find Cheery.
Huh? Ought we go to the police?
What?
Why
No.
would you?
Yeah.
What? You think you're gonna go? Like, you know you're not supposed to go in the first place. This great idea to go to the police, you dumb shit.
Yeah.
I love you, Maria, but you also can be very dumb.
Yep. What? No. Oh my god, that's Achi's voice. I do declare, what? No, we're not really gonna go. Oh man, I'm so glad you showed up, Tama. Now come on, let's go
Well, you
find
did
Cheery.
accidentally turn into. Well, you do occasionally sense.
Yep.
From the big grin on his face, I have an inkling of what's coming next. You thought of another get-rich-quick scheme, haven't you?
Goodness, Tama, you can see right through me.
It's not that difficult. It's practically written all over your face, boss. But Mr. Yanagashita isn't really listening. He's too full of enthusiasm.
This time I got a line on 10 million yen, so come on, let's go make ourselves stinking rich.
He punctuates his rounding up by pointing fervently at some non-existent listener. Fourth wall breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Several weeks later.
Another bad end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. Iron stomach, a celebration truly is stopping appetite. When the mighty
yeah, it's going on it. It was going on its own.
On the winner's podium, the cheers and applause are deafening when the massive ceremony is being out. Here is the champion. Hell yeah, as we do. She laughs with delight as she holds up the trophy that signifies the 10 million yen win. And me, I got runner-up. Hell yeah. I wasn't too in the idea at first. To give it a shot, I found that professional gluttony kind of grows me up. Literally. Even I was surprised by how much I could eat. I had to admit it got pretty good. My memory still hasn't come back, but that doesn't matter anymore. Oh. I found myself a new purpose. To still Jimmy's spot on the third. That right there is now my greatest goal in life.
Yep. What an end. Tama never got her memories back. She ended up starting a new life on the competitive eating circuit, which may not be a horrible fate, but wouldn't it be better if she recovered her old life as Maria? When she was cornered in the alley by the man with the cane, there's someone who could have turned up and helped her out, Yanagashita. But he can't do that if he ends up getting tied up at the knick-knack shop. Hey. Now time for Osawa.
I've never truly trusted anyone, not on a fundamental level.
It's so funny, like, going to him after everybody else, because everybody else is kind of just vibing, and then there's
Yeah, for
Osawa being
real.
like, life is meaningless.
I'm having a
Everything's
mental
terrible.
breakdown.
Yeah.
Human beings are a type of organism that I can't get a true handle on through mere surface interactions. And the very fact that I have never trusted anyone else means that inevitably no one else has ever trusted me. In the end, maybe the root of all my problems can be traced back to my heart. As he waited for a Minoru car to contact him, Osawa thought about his current crisis. It seemed Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, and he must have accomplices. And these criminals had mistakenly abducted Maria in their attempt to get at the antiviral drug that was in Hitomi's blood. And the thing is, the game doesn't really address it. I don't remember it doing so anyway, but it's been 4 years since I played it. That we don't truly know if his wife and Tanaka have been getting together behind his back and how long that's been going on for. So
Yeah.
we don't truly know if Marie and Tommy are actually related to him or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did kind of hint at it earlier in Osawa's route. He was like wondering if maybe they were getting it on and all that because he mentioned uh what's his name, the detective guy that he's been working with here, that he said something like it's kind of weird, interesting that she would gift him a nice tie pin or something.
That's a very intimate thing for someone that you apparently just know.
Yeah.
Marie and Hitomi were the fraternal twins, but they looked similar enough to be mistaken for identical twins. Still, Tanaka would never confuse the two. The mix-up must have been made by some criminal who didn't know Maria or Hitomi personally. Insisting that Hitomi bring the ransom to the train station was obviously their solution. It set her up for a second abduction. But piecing together this much of the kidnapper's plan only raised this different question. Why had Tanaka shown him those emails from Hitomi? Wouldn't the criminals want to keep information like that hidden? The more Saul thought about things, the less they made sense. Just who are my true allies, and who are my foes? Tanaka could have easily have shown you that shit because he's like, you may have my ex-girlfriend as your wife, but I have the love and attention of your daughters.
Yeah.
And also now your wife
Yeah.
as well. I have all of it. All you have is that thing in name. It's in paper. Well, I have all the other emotions, etc., and the memories,
Yeah.
unlike you.
Yeah.
I'd say this is you.
Oh yeah, it's probably detective guy. Mr. Osawa, a delivery has arrived for you. Yeah, Kajiwara. There we go.
It's Hajiwara at the study door with the knife.
Oh snap.
Come in. Hajiwara stepped into the room and handed Osawa a letter-sized envelope. Osawa checked the label. car- calming the official Aya fan club membership application closed.
Requires a 1,000 yen initiation fee and yearly dues of 3,000 yen. Membership grants several perks, including the opportunity to reserve concert tickets in advance of the general public. Osawa is fond of the members only website content, which include Ayakamiki's blog and exclusive videos.
Right, he had requested the application the day he'd gone back from overseas.
Would you mind opening that?
What? What for?
I'd just like to check the contents of any packages you received today, sir. It's possible the kidnapper may try to make contact with you by mail.
Osawa opened the envelope. Inside, he found the expected application along with several postcards, including pictures of the singer. Kajiwara peered pointedly at the postcard images.
You must really like her.
And just what sort of music do you listen to then? Sarah asked, staring at one of the postcards. A striking photo that showed off Kamiki's expressive eyes.
Let me think. Mostly classical, I suppose.
Sarah raised a quizzical eyebrow.
You know, like Mozart and Chopin and the like.
Chopin.
Chopin. I don't know why I always say Chopin.
I'll say this for you. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Austrian born music prodigy and classical composer. Famous works include The Marriage of
Figaro.
Figaro, The Magic Flute, and Symphony Number 41, also known as the Jupiter Symphony.
There you go, you got most of it. Frédéric Francois Chopin.
Composer and pianist of the early Romantic era, famed as a national musician of Poland, left behind numerous solo piano works. Famous works include his Nocturne, Opening 9, Number 2, and his Piano Sonata Number 2.
Sonata, yeah.
Yeah. My dad listens to a lot of classical music.
Me too. He hummed a few bars. Don't know why it doesn't have the A there.
Yeah. But the most I know with Mozart and whatnot is like the times when I like sung some songs for like choir and whatnot, and that's it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Can't say I've ever heard them.
Majiskayo.
Kajiwara looked shocked. I'm familiar with the names, of course. I just never had much of an interest in music.
Oh, that's such a shame. Would you care to listen to a piece now? I mean, might as well. I don't see why not.
I suppose I may as well. Now that you brought it up, Usai was curious to know what sort of music Kajiwara enjoyed. Detective pulled the digital music player out of his pocket.
Here you go. Just starts.
Usai slipped the attached earbuds into his ears.
I just was imagining that he puts it in and like rock music starts blasting and kills him instantly.
Yeah, like like it's all just EDM remixes.
Yep. Of those classical songs. Like, that's my
He
favorite
heard a
version.
float quite. Oh, as the piece continued, it grew more profound and complex. Isaiah could feel his spirit calming. He took a deep breath and expelled it through his nostrils. It felt as if the toxic gloom that filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed.
What do you think?
It's quite nice.
The theme of
I
this piece is,
just like to imagine that during that 10 minutes and at him while he was listening.
yeah.
The Kajiwara paused for a moment and thought.
Well, it's about how erudition can be boorishness. Accumulated knowledge. The term often connotes an advanced and or esoteric understanding. Displaying a moderate amount can impress others, but promptly flaunting it is bound to put them off.
Thank you. If I hadn't met you, I'd never discovered this piece. He spoke the words unthinkingly, with unaccustomed frankness.
Oh no.
Was this the power of music then?
Oh no. And then get disconnected again. Which means it's gonna crash. Or not? Why is it? It's just not doing anything. Uh. Oh, nope. Womp womp.
Wah, wah.
I'm very happy to hear that, sir.
Ozawa gazed at one of the postcards as he let himself be drawn back into the music. Anya was scooping up handsful of mystical blue sand. The grains drip down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be in this photo here, Osawa muttered. Like I've lived my life letting so many things slip through my fingers. Kajiwara thought for a moment before responding.
I think anyone who's worked hard to accomplish something and focused for a long time on that one thing is susceptible to those kinds of feelings.
Accomplishing something means getting results. That's not where my problem is. If so, remove the headphones and get back the music player. You told me not to hide things from you, right? Kajiwara nodded silently. Then allow me to speak frankly. Leaning back heavily in his chair, Osawa took another deep, slow breath. I'm anxious. So anxious that it's almost crushing me. I feel that.
Yeah. Given the circumstances, sir, that's completely understand.
No! Osawa spoke up before Kajiwara could finish. It's not that. It's not that at all. He shook his head vigorously. If the worst should happen to my daughter, how am I going to feel like my heart is always cold somehow? And the truth is, I wanted it to be that way. With one, if me to even be able to feel a father's sorrow. That's what I'm anxious about. He felt his emotions twist inside him in a way that was utterly confusing. For perhaps the first time in his life, he realized how thick of a thing the human heart could be.
It's alright, sir.
What's alright? Kajiwara flashed him with a carefree smile.
I can't hear this song without thinking about that whole scene with Yanagishita. People who really have cold hearts don't worry about that sort of thing.
Detective held out his music player again.
Here, I'd like you to have this. Please give it another listen if you like. I think it might help you calm your nerves.
Osawa took the offered device. He dared to open up to Kajiwara just a little. To his own surprise, he felt grateful for it.
You both should get married. And how about one of these as well?
The detective produced a banana from his pocket. I'm fine, thanks. Not until we're married. Then you can get me plenty banana.
Are you sure? I think I should just have him say I'm sure. I don't think he'll ask for a banana.
I'm sure. Isawa spoke firmly, then his expression softened a little. You know, you've been getting on my nerves all day.
Really? And here I thought I'd been doing what I could to soothe your spirits, Mr. Osawa.
It's actually been a long time since I've regaled anyone quite so much. The words left his lips. Isawa found himself thinking back to one particularly rainy day. It's always a rainy day.
Yeah.
Maria had been 5th grade at the time. Isawa was standing in his daughter's room. In his hands, he held the letter she'd left behind. He happened to glance out the window and saw Maria walking along, soaked from head to toe. In an instant, Osawa was consumed with rage. Maria had left a note. It read, Dad, you only pay attention to Hitomi. You're too busy with work to play with me, so I'm running away from home. Struck by an impulse he didn't quite understand, he ran from the room, heading for the front door. Maria had just gone back inside. Osawa met her silently in the entryway. Wet strands of hair clung to the girl's forehead, and she looked up at her father with a bitter glare. You don't care what happens to me, do you? Slapped her.
Yep.
Impulsively, he slapped her face. Maria's cheek turned red and tears welled up in her eyes. Osawa's anger transformed abruptly into guilt. He gazed down at the palm of his hand and saw a tiny spot of blood. He was shocked by the recognition of what he'd just done. And then he was afraid. Afraid that his daughter could bring such raw emotion out of him and make him do something so thoughtless.
Is something wrong, Mr. Osawa?
Whereas leaning in looking concerned, Osawa came back to the boat at the start and realized he had buried his face in his hands. No, he muttered, looking up. Just scared, angry, yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it. He picked up the music player and fished it with the earbuds as he spoke.
Well, getting angry and yelling at people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just human.
It's human to do those kinds of things. I often said that he was cold and mechanical, but eyes are also a bitch.
Yeah.
Just very autistic.
Yeah. I just want to give him a big hug.
You. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I read everything.
Oh, it didn't
Oh.
transfer over. Oof.
Which part?
The bottom part. I'll just go forward. If you get angry, you show it. If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how you're feeling after all.
But what if doing that hurts the other person?
That's when you apologize, sir.
Oh. It occurred to Sarah they'd never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He'd never felt the need to. My marriage was arranged, so.
Nah.
And yet, right now,
Divorce with I, get married to Kajiwara.
he suddenly felt that if storms were to appear for him, he might lose out everything he'd ever let them said. It was a terrifying thought.
Darling!
I opened the door and stepped into the room.
The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development.
We'll be right there. Osara and Kajiwara hurried out of the room. Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the members of the investigation team quietly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Osawa and I sat on the sofa on the far side of the room watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped sweat from his forehead with the handkerchief several times. Bad news, Osawa thought.
Mr. Osawa, ma'am?
Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them at last.
We're zooming in on his butt.
Yep.
Also, I love the fact that there's such a gap between Osawa and I, and then Kajiwara's like in the middle of it.
Yep.
Just the way all the shots are done in this is so good. Can we please stop zooming in on his butt? We've just gotten word from headquarters.
He hesitated ominously. Osawa braced himself. Please, let's hear it.
First, about your daughter Hitomi.
Kajiwara's expression was grim.
The body of a young man named Achiendo was discovered near Shibuya Station.
The name meant nothing to Osawa.
In a building not too far from the scene,
The detective swallowed.
your daughter Hitomi was found dead.
The wall began to shake. Osawa staggered, really. With sudden nauseating vertigo. No, it's not possible.
After that, your daughter Maria.
The words blurred together. He could no longer comprehend what he was hearing. Everything was wobbling. Good. distracting. His words, Osawa's whole world went dark, as if someone had just yanked the curtains closed.
Yep. We're gonna need to do stuff with Minorikawa to prevent all this. Learning of Hitomi's death plunged Osawa into a pit of despair. This was the dark end of a chain of events that began with a simple, small decision. Someone else merely decided to abide by a little promise. Because of that, not only did Achi and Hitomi meet with disaster, but Osawa lost his mind as well. Keeping a promise is a noble thing, for sure, but right now, saving Achi, Hitomi, and Osawa is more important. Hey.
Me.
Here we go!
Wait a second. I feel like it's some kind of forgetting. The Norcar stopped and let out a cry of frustration. Daisuke Endo had asked him for a favor after the interview was done. He promised to tell the Wandering Angels that the dry ice machine they purchased was defective.
Episode 5. At last, the climax of the play drew near. There was a whole string of troubles, but the cast soldiered on, and it looked like things were going to end all right. Then, backstage, Bando noticed that the dry ice machine was acting strangely. Even after it had been turned off, the machine continued to churn out more dry ice. The producer, Tsukozawa, demanded that the defective device be returned immediately, and so Tokuzaka, Bando, and Amo loaded it into their vehicle and left the theater. Continued in episode 6.
Well, damn. That completely slipped his mind. If you recall correctly, the issue was that once the machine started making dry ice, it wouldn't stop. If he ran to the theater now, he'd lose about 10 minutes. Norcar checked his wristwatch. The lone people would be coming by the editing office before too long. You need to prove to them that next month's issue of 4-Star General Gossip was well underway, or else they refuse to wait any longer for repayment. To do that, you need to fill a minimum of 6 of the 12 remaining blank pages. Couldn't afford to waste even a single second. This was an awkward position to be in. He needs to keep his promise to Endo. He also needs to spend his time wisely. Guess I don't have a choice.
But yeah, we already know that we can't go back to the theater, so we have to just hurry on.
But does that mean that we'll run into Archie? There was nothing he could do about having forgotten. He hurried on to the cafe. Sorry, Endo.
Nah, because they said that the whole reason this happened was because he decided to try and fulfill a promise.
Yep.
But, so I'm guessing that if we try and go back, that's when we bump into Achi, and that's when all that other stuff happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, Uri. You're just gonna have to let this one slide. I've got Toyoma's life in the line here. He opened the door to the cafe with practice for regular. What? The waitress only got that far before her face fell.
You again?
Hey, hurry up and get me a seat! She grinned wickedly.
terribly sorry, sir, but we're all full at the moment.
He looked around, all of the seats were indeed filled.
As you can see, sir.
Really now? The witch's grin widened with triumph.
Yes, sir.
Right, I'll just right here. Let me get some power. His power came up to a nearby outlet. Norikari plunked himself right down the floor and reached up his
You're
laptop.
just sitting on right in front of the door.
The witch just watched dismay, then turned to stare vacantly up at the ceiling.
Just do whatever you want.
He muttered vaguely.
I don't know who's talking.
You know, a person can only get away with being obnoxious for so long. Sooner or later, someone's likely to call the police.
Oh wait, okay, so
That
it was
you.
Yanagishita.
Norikari looked up from his work, startled to see the burning hammered salesman standing over him. I'll be told, can you?
Yep.
Oh, you're Mr. Yanagishita.
I do declare, thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Are you going to write your article here?
Yanagishita eyed Norikari's computer.
Ooh, that's the latest model, isn't it?
Look, I got no time to talk right now. Norikari opened the file with his half-written copy.
Ooh, what's this? Chaos at bogus weight loss drink sales demo?
Yanagishita read the copy aloud.
The organizer, Junichi Yanagishita, didn't merely have a whiff of deceit about him. His breath also stunk.
Sounds good. Norikari has. I would make sure I give an accurate impression.
Oh, I love what you've done with it. This is a great copy. Fantastic.
Yanagishita turned to look at him with a manic grin. What? Yeah, isn't it? In a flash, Yanagishita's face went from grinning to livid.
Like hell it is. You think I'm gonna just let you write something like that?
Smashing up the computer, Yanagishita bolted out of the cafe. Hey! Get back here! Norikari leapt to his feet and rushed off in pursuit. As he sprinted badly along, Yanagishita turned down a narrow alley. Norikari stayed close behind, desperate not to lose sight of him. And this sorts out every single timeline where Norikari and Yanagishita are doing shit to other people in their timelines.
Yeah.
His quarry began to weed its way through the back alleys of Shibuya.
They're getting a taste of their own medicines.
You know? This guy clearly knew his way around town. By Miyashita Park, they zipped up onto a pedestrian bridge. Just where the heck was this idiot going? Halfway across the overpass, Yanagishita
Oh no, he's gonna throw it. He's gonna throw the computer down so it gets destroyed.
Confused, the Norikari stopped as well. Give that back, he called. Next moment, Yanagishita flashed a mocking grin and dangled the laptop over the railing. Uh-oh, Norikari lunged towards him, but it was already too late. Laptop left Yanagishida's hand and went spinning down through the air. Then, as the two men struggled, Yanagishida himself toppled over the railing. Without hesitating, Minoru Kara jumped down as well.
Amazing.
Wow! Minoru Kara landed hard. As he struggled to gain his breath, he looked around and saw Yanagishida beside him. Incredibly, the laptop was safe in the charlatan's grasp. Wow. Apparently, he somehow managed to catch it in midair. Yeah, because he probably wants to fucking sell it or some shit. Before Minoru Kara could be too relieved, however, Yanagishida got to his feet and took off running again. Damn, these people are hard heads.
Yeah.
Get back here, you little weasel!
I don't think so.
This Yanagishida guy was infuriating. That, and he was really fast. Minoru Kara considered himself a decent runner. He couldn't manage to gain on Yanagishida. Running away was competitive sport. The guy would be a world-class superstar. Well, I think running is, but okay. He ran along and the curious thoughts occurred to him.
Well, I think he means specifically like running away from something rather than just running as a straight up thing.
Yeah, that's relay running. Hold on a minute. He hates my coffee that much. Shouldn't he have one in my computer break? Why'd he go out of his way to catch it like that? As he wants to sell it. It made no sense at all. Hey! Minoru Kara shouted between gasping breaths. What are you playing to do for my laptop? Yanagishida glanced back at him. Yep, there we go.
Gonna sell it. Sorry about this.
What? Minoru Kara was taken aback.
Consider it compensation for defamation of character. In the civil sense, the act of unlawfully damaging another person's character or reputation in the public eye. In the criminal sense, the act of disseminating damaging facts about an individual to an unspecified large number of people.
Yep, I called the defamation if the article hasn't run yet.
And it's also not defamation if it's true. Like, that's the other thing. Like, if something is true, it's not defamation of character. It's only defamation of character if it's something that is a lie.
And if you stump, then it's true.
Yeah. Then consider it an advance on the compensation.
That was so nonsensical, it made Minoru Kara's head hurt. But now at least he knew why Yanagishida had died after the computer. The thief continued to weave his way through the side streets. Speed didn't diminish in the slightest. Damn it, this guy has too much experience running away, yeah. Minoru Kara's stamina began to fade, and finally he lost sight of his quarry. But that didn't mean he was ready to give up the search. There are articles in that computer that were right on the verge of completion. Whatever it took, he had to get it back. Yanagishida had said he could sell it. Where could he be headed then?
Oh, if we go to the knick-knack shop, that's how he probably ends up tied up there, right?
I think.
I don't know. It's either that or Endo Electronics, I'm thinking.
Well, where was actually going when they ran into Yanagashita? Well,
Oh,
into Minorakara.
yeah. So actually, we probably do have to go to the knick-knack shop now.
Probably he was headed to the knick-knack shop. Minorakara recalled seeing one near the burning hammer demo site. He also recalled seeing a poster outside the place that said, "We buy computers at top prices." Yeah. Damn. The guy led him on a wild goose chase. That shop was surely where he was going to sell the laptop. Gulping a deep breath, he headed in that direction. That sneaky little run.
Yep.
There you are, Yanagashita! Norikawa burst into the shop and sent the guy, an accusing finger pointed squarely at the thief.
Listen, there's no way I'm buying a computer that doesn't have a power cable. I do declare details. All you sell here is junk anyway.
Yanagashita and the shopkeeper had gone into an argument. Norikawa recognized the shopkeeper. He was the guy he'd run into on the roadside earlier. "My computer belongs to me!" Minorakar shouted as he marched up to it. "Give it back!" Yanagashita clutched the laptop to his chest.
Nuh-uh, I need the money.
"Knock it off! You're acting like a child!" Norikawa tried to slap him out of his tantrum, but Yanagashita ducked to avoid the blow. Then bizarrely, Yanagashita froze. A fierce gleam came to his eyes. Jesus Christ.
Yep. Like,
He broke into an incomprehensible stammer.
that's it!
Yanagashita snatched up the fly that his gaze had fixed on.
Iron stomach, huh? That's right, here is my little blue bird of happiness. You know what? You can have this.
Yanagashita shoved the laptop into Minorakara's arms.
Hey, welcome to it, you idiot. I don't need no worthless computer.
"You're the idiot, Buster!" Minorakara smacked Yanagashita right across the face. Hitting him felt good. He decided to do it again.
Ouch!
He drew back his arm to deliver another blow. But then, someone else came to the shop. Yanagashita's eyes lit up as it was. "Maria?"
Oh, my angel! What is my darling Miku doing here?
"Ah, Miku." Miku stood in the doorway on the verge of tears. "Aww."
Mr. Minorikawa!
She began, then her voice choked up. "Hey, Cutter, what's the matter? Something wrong?" Miku drew in close to Minorakara's side. "Huh? Oh, shit."
Huh? Hey?
Yanagashita's gaze darted back and forth between Minorakara and Miku.
You two know each other?
"Sort of. More the point. Is she the girl you said you were in love with?" "Oh, that was the what? I don't know who's speaking right now."
That's right, the one and only Miku. I have her entrance music set as my ringtone.
Paying no heed to Yanagashita's excitement, Miku kept her eyes fixed on Minorakara.
I lost to a girl who knows Jujutsu. I lost!
She buried her face in Minorakara's chest.
Ah!
Yanagashita let out a gasp.
What? What in the what is this all about?
He seemed on the verge of panic.
Mr. Minorikawa, I need to learn Aki Jiu-Jitsu.
No, this is Nico,
Mr. Minorikawa, I need to learn Aki Jiu-Jitsu. I feel so ashamed.
She buried her face even deeper into Minorikawa's face, their chest.
That's so unfair.
Ew. With tears in his eyes, Yannick darted out the door. Minorikawa glared after the pathetic fellow as he scampered off. The guy sure knows how to take advantage of a bad situation, I'll give him that. The guy sure knows how to make something of a situation, I'll give him that. Anyway, I'm just glad I got my partner back. Ordinarily, he'd be inclined to pursue Yanagashida and subject him to a tirade, at the very least, but there is no time for that now. Yes, there really isn't. He explained the situation to the shopkeeper, who flashed a sympathetic smile.
Ah, is that so? Lucky for you, he screwed up then. Much as I'm happy to do business, I just can't buy a computer that doesn't come with its accessories.
I could afford it from if he had the accessories.
Of course, stolen or not, it's all the same once I've sold it.
The shopkeeper chuckled unapologetically. Heh, I suppose that's true. Norcar laughed along with him. Yeah, all the same. Like hell it is! He roared. The shopkeeper froze like a stone rabbit. I bet everything you have for sale here has been stolen, hasn't it?
Don't be ridiculous.
I'll warn you up front, there's no use hiding things from me. I've interviewed you after all, I know you. Shopkeeper was getting more and more flustered.
No, well, I mean, look, this is just between you and me, okay? Sometimes I go around gathering stuff that people have lost and I sell it here, but it's not stolen, just repurposed. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
The shopkeeper smiled ingratiatingly. You moron! Norcar stuck his finger in the man's face. Selling lost property is a serious crime too.
Potential violation of Article 254 of the Penal Code of Japan regarding embezzlement of lost property, which states a person who embezzles lost property, drift property, or any other property which belongs to another person and is in no one's possession shall be punished by imprisonment with work for not more than 1 year, a fine of not more than 100,000 yen, or a petty fine. It is? Well, I mean, I guess I sort of figured it might be sometimes.
Well, I'm not the police. I'm more into curiosity than legality. First, I find this pretty fascinating. I mean, what sort of things have you got up for sale?
Well, let me see. Like this and that and that and that.
The man pointed the various items on shelves.
And also this and that and that and that and that, I guess.
Norcar's eyes were directed all over the shop. Everything the shopkeeper pointed out had a hefty price tag. And you're actually able to sell things like this?
Sure, I can sell stuff. Earlier today, someone bought a big necklace. I listed it for 40,000 yen, but I discounted it down to 30,000.
And you still make profit even after discounts?
Sure, I mean, it was just something I found lying on the ground after all. Ha ha ha!
Yeah, it's not like you paid for it. Norcar looked back at him and laughed as well. Then his face turned hard. This is no laughing matter! You need to stop what you're doing here right away! Otherwise you're going to find out what it's like to get punished by a pen of justice.
I'm so sorry.
Norcar glared, The truth was that right now he's so busy he'd have to let this guy slide. Still, this whole asinine affair had eaten up a big chunk of time he didn't have to waste. He was going to have to finish up his copy back at the editing office. Laptop in hand, he left the shop, only stopped short when a slight figure stepped out in front of him.
Mr. Minorikawa!
Meek stood there barring his path.
Please introduce me to a dojo where I can learn Aki Jiu-Jitsu.
I'm sorry. I really don't have time for this right now. Norcar tried to hurry onwards, but she stubbornly refused to let him pass.
You introduced me to that other dojo before, remember?
How so, now that you mention it? He tried to slip by her on the right-hand side, but she was quick to block him.
You're the one who introduced me to the world of martial arts, Mr. Minorikawa.
Why, yes, you're putting me in a bit of bind here. Trying to slip by her on the left was a no-go too. She could anticipate his every move.
Please just hear me out.
She was speaking through quiet sobs now.
I can't stand to leave things like this.
She looked Minorikara right in the eye.
Maybe the middle option?
It's a good opportunity for you. Invite something to do yourself that isn't martial arts.
What?
You're the champion out of one pub, right? Maybe now that you're done with that, you should find a more cushy line of work instead. Oh my god. Me began to tremble.
You jerk!
Fuck! Niku delivered a blindingly fast slap to Minorika's cheek.
Why'd you have to put it like that? You're so mean.
Bursting in tears, Miku ran off. Hey, Miku! She gave no sign she heard him and didn't turn around. Minorika rubbed his cheek. It stung. For once he actually regretted what he said. Maybe he shouldn't have assumed she'd be willing to just give up her hobby. He did in fact know of several Aiki Jiu-Jitsu dojos. If only he'd had the time, could have introduced her easily enough. Or you could have just said, yes, I know some, I can introduce you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not today, but I could do it tomorrow.
Yep.
Checking his watch, he saw that he only had 30 minutes and change until 4 o'clock. There's no more wiggle room at this point. These articles need to get written, and fast. He needs to get back to the editing department. And yet... Oh, damn it all to hell, I can't get work done like this. Norikara broke into a run. But he didn't run for heaven punishing. Instead, he went off to Miku.
Oh, snap. I keep out. Okie doke.
I don't think we have enough time to start another one.
Yeah.
Got like
Yeah.
8 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably continue after this. Some other time.
Yes.
But now we can go back to Achi because
Yep.
his whole thing will be okay now, hopefully.
Yep. because we prevented both Minoru and Yanagishita from
Yep.
being in Maria and Archie's way.
Yep. So I think we can probably continue from here next time.
Yes.
But thanks for joining again, as always, Lulu. You're the
course,
best.
No, you.
No, you. And thanks to both Mew and Roll for joining in the chat. I love you both very much.
Thank you.
And yeah, so we may do the next Monday stream. We may not. We'll have to see how things go. But hopefully we'll get there eventually. I mean, I think we're making good progress.
Yeah.
Let me see how many. I wonder how. I know it's probably like a day, but I'm wondering kind of how long it is.
Like 8 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, up till like 18 to 20 o'clock apparently.
Yep.
And we're currently at I think 15 to 16. Yeah, we're at 15 to 16. So we're over halfway now.
Yeah. Like I said, when you asked.
Yeah. Just wanted something to visualize it for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But heck yeah, we're making progress, and I think we'll probably finish this hour soon, hopefully, and then we'll be even more closer to the end. Oh, but then there's also all the special episodes and stuff too.
Yep.
There's a lot of content in this.
A lot of content.
Yeah, we'll one day finish it in 5 billion years.
Which, again, was a great thing for a person like me who didn't have any internet and couldn't do anything.
Understandable. Big hugs.
During the pandemic,
Yeah.
it's not like I could leave the house either.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I got so much done during the pandemic in terms of video games. Like, that's also when I got into Pokemon, finally, after all this time. Crazy. Anyways, let's see who's live right now. Let's see who we shall raid. Oh, Adam's live. Apparently playing Graveyard Keeper. So let's raid Adam.
Nice.
I've never played Graveyard Keeper. All I know is that apparently it was like one of the early Stardew Valley-esque games that came after.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we done it.